UKCS Hub Cash Cup. Of course, it is Revenge versus Royals to see who takes this series or potentially forces us into a third map that would be Overpass. And we'll see if Revenge are up to the task. We saw those glimpses. They started to rev the engine towards the end, but whether there is a path to redemption for them in this series or not remains to be seen. They start out on the CT side. And actually, Shubi gonna be heavily pressured. He thought they were going up through short, but instead it's the apartments, and he gets the first. Able to fall back. Regan as well finding a kill. Regan getting up for a double. Oh, actually tripling up in the scenario. Jane now left in a 1-on-3. Bomb on his back so he can get this one planted, but they are fast on the approach, and they quickly overwhelm Royals. Gets shut down over at that A site, and it's again Regan that has been the one that has surprised me, but has again delivered such a pivotal piece to Revenge winning the round. Also, I've got to say, I'm really unsure about this whole round prediction thing at the top. Not sure if I like it or not. It's a bit jank, but I think that's sort of interesting. Well, it's a cobble together buy here from Royals. Since they got that plant down, they can't afford up these AKs. Oh my days, Shubi jumping around like a madman. Zulu actually lining up as well for the additional spam, so Ping's done a lot of damage with just that dig alone. And that additional pressure that's mounted, it pulls Fraser back towards this B site, and you can't in good conscience leave Zulu alone here. One more body shot from the dig up close would be enough to finish him. They're gonna do it anyway. Oh, I don't like this. Such a risky game that Revenge are playing in favor of stacking more towards that A site. Zulu, sure, he'll go unchecked for the first. He does do a lot of damage on the spam. Never mind, I'm changing my tune because Zulu's done fantastic work from that position given the circumstance. And so now it's a 2-on-4 that can Revenge can use their numbers advantage to help take this one back. An SMG and the AK of Popov. He spots the shoulder, knows that they're making progress towards Garden. It's every single player here from that CT side, but individual duels being won. Swaggy's doubled up as well on the Mac-10. They're both low HP, but Fraser, it's a crossbar that he has to crack, and Popov doesn't allow him to progress. It's a 1 round from Royals in a 2-on-4 in the post plant. Fantastic stuff from Popov and Swaggy alike. And it's that forced buy after losing the pistol that forces Revenge down to just the digs. Not a round that Revenge will be happy to have lost. Losing the second round is always a bit heartbreaking, but especially when you're in such a significant numbers advantage like that, all the more heartbreaking. Utility expended in through middle. Fraser around the corner. Oh, could he find the timing? Ping does go for the reload. Swaggy was holding if Fraser did progress through the smoke. Pulling back instead, the smarter move. Runner sustained a lot of damage in an earlier duel as well. He's down to 5. Razor's just looking for a timing in through the smoke. The flash is good. The first kill there onto Ping, fantastic. But they're approaching quickly from behind. Swaggy not quite adjusting or seeing that Regan was on the site in time. So Regan does capitalize on that fact, brings it to equal numbers. Zulu as well is making progress on the flank. And the timing of this is what's crucial. He's here faster than they may predict. But okay, never mind. Goodbye, Shubi. So now all attention can be brought towards middle. The potential for this as well. Oh, head of Popov spotted out, but there's Jane. As soon as he hears the presence above, finds an angle to help his teammate. And Royals will navigate out of a tricky situation. Where do these USPs go? What is the plan? Is there a gimmick? Does it seem to be? It's very standardized. 2 and 3 apiece. Some tags fired off one towards Connor. Additional spam here from Fraser as Ping progresses forward. Looking to be an entry man into the site. Does get dinked up, but spins around in time. Well, it will be Fraser, closest man on the scene as the bombers get planted. Connor dispatches of him. There shouldn't be any real difficulties. Connor delivers another kill. Could be just trying to finish off a frag if possible. Deal some damage. And actually kill somebody, hopefully. Because damage is nice, but getting rid of weapons even better. So, considering the position, getting that kill on Swaggy, really all he was hoping for. And I'd love to say this is where we get to the real meat and potatoes, you know, that old adage, but I don't think this is where it actually gets all too real. You know, we don't see an AWP on either side for these teams, so this isn't really their final form, but this could definitely have a large amount of impact. A good rifle round here to have for Revenge. They're missing out on some utility, but they're trying to capitalize on that fact here on Royals. Ping moving past the smoke. Zulu, somewhat unaware. Only losing 27 HP. And now it's this setup towards that A side. The nade is an absolute sitter. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Swaggy and Connor. How they've orchestrated that so fantastically. Did they hear a step on short? They had a hard read on what was going to happen on for that under balk position. Or under quad. The nade did significant damage, and then after the fact, they come out swinging. Clearing the first, and I mean, the guy at the back, he's supposed to be the bait, but making sure to go all the way. Checking every nook and cranny. What a solid call. Or rather, read of the situation for Royals. The only round that Revenge have won was the pistol. Ever since, things have been a little bit rough. Look at the pace here from Swaggy. It's again pistols. Sees the shadow. Okay. The timing doesn't work out, but Stempy and Regan, hello. Synchronized swim team. They get 2 kills in unison. As soon as Swaggy found one, that was their time. That was their signal to go. The problem being that they've left this B bomb site completely vacant. And while Connor was on alert, they rotate the other direction. So he knows that the flank isn't a possibility. They just have to worry about CT and a swarm of CTs that could come around the corner. Molotov onto Ping. Does force him out into the open. The spam of Fraser does not connect. It's a follow-up Molotov towards Dark. Instead, it's actually the boosted position. And Ping, he goes back towards a place that was previously Molotoved out. But they line up. Ping, unable to get any connections there on the AK. It's Connor in the 1 versus 3, and they swing out together. Well orchestrated between the Revenge players. And Regan, he's sticking the defuse, and he should have it. It is a close one at that. But it's a Deagle round for Revenge that overturns. I don't know how, but Zulu and Fraser somehow the MVPs of that round for bringing so much attention to the archers and getting those opening kills in through middle via Stempy and I think it's Stempy and Zulu, Stempy and Regan. I just say Stempy with a Z. Well, silly mistakes from me. And a massive mistake for Royals. There have been quite a few of those rounds today for them. And especially when we go in with the narrative of them having this skill discrepancy against most of the teams within the Cash Cup. It is a bit of a worrying sign. Juju be in the Royals camp. Regan didn't get flashed off. A lot of utility expended his direction. Zulu, the meanwhile, has found a kill over towards Banana. While brackets have been taken here for Royals, now the path towards the bomb is somewhat more dangerous. So Swaggy throws himself at the problem. Zulu's not really facing, instead just going for some jump peaks, and he does spot the shoulder of Swaggy. Recognition here from Royals that the jig may be up as the smoke goes towards CT. This timely smoke from Zulu should keep them back, but they may just go through this. Yeah, not waiting for reinforcements to arrive. Zulu gonna get overwhelmed. It's instead Shuby that gets boosted up, but he's only good for 1. Fraser on the AWP as well, rotating into the action. Does make it a narrow man advantage. Fraser is continuing to peek on forward. That plays into the hand of Jane. He was holding for that exact peek. And it's maybe mistimed. Fraser may have jumped the gun a bit early. Now it just falls onto Jane and Ping delivers. So does Jane. 3 kills for him on the AWP. And Revenge, they got that miracle round, but they couldn't actually get it across the line. Not when they had the rifles versus the rifles. It is a bit heartbreaking. And well, a familiar sight now. Back to the pistols. Molotov on the corner. It should push them further forward. Oh, they lined up. Oh no. They lined up so Ping dinked both of them. Alright. It's just a fiesta. Okay. Get you one more. Oh! Yo, this guy deegs. This guy deegs. I'm trying to get excited about small things for Revenge. But, 99% to 1%? Excuse me? Huh? Is that broken? It's a full gun round. Come on, win chance thing. You're not supposed to be biased. Yeah, you show him. Fraser, opening pick on Jane. The win chance updates. It figures its own life out. Now Royals have to cobble something together in the mid-round. Utility being expended in through middle by Revenge. Honestly, a lack of information over towards that side of the map. Shubi going down over towards Banana. The Molotov is well placed, though. Look how much damage has been done to these remaining two players, and Fraser's on the site. He's found the additional pick on Swaggy. He's going to get flashed up, but oh no, utility pulled out by Popov. That could have been a crucial mistake, but it doesn't cost him his life. Oh, Regan going for the spam. Popov was low as well. Had the bullets connected, it would have been fatal. Connor going for the swing. Popov as well. They're both tagged up here on Revenge, but Popov could get overwhelmed. The shadows could work in his advantage. Oh, the timing. He's managed to weasel himself around, but Stempy finally gets the kill. And he was looking around for the AWP. Had already a kit on his belt, so no worries about the timing of this defuse. Revenge. It comes down to one player, but he brings it across the line. A third round for them. Look at, 3, 2, 1. Do they just win a round with no player surviving? Is that what Destiny holds for us? Because these rounds have been separated by wins by Royals. Bomb and spawn, team. The bomb is in spawn. Team. The bomb is in spawn. Yep, thank you, ping. Oh, Shubi running them down with the SMG. Had Zulu alongside him, but that's a nice upgrade there for Shubi. See, a good bit of counter utility deployed here by Revenge. Should there have been a player under Balk, that smoke as well would allow them to escape. So the fact that they've used a Molotov and they'll have to effectively re-clear under Balk or under Quad, I mean, that has to dawn in the back of their minds. And the utility is fairly limited. They only have one more Molotov to clear out positions. This deep smoke Banana as well is not doing them any favors. Deep flash does force Zulu back. They have Shubi hovering towards Speedway. He doesn't have a flashbang though, so he can't really support Zulu in this position. Zulu going unchecked, actually getting distracted by the spam that Shubi was dishing out from CT. May have thought that some of those closer angles were cleared out, but they're looking for the flank. Shubi spams away, but Stempy trying to make up for lost ground as he lost a teammate trying to get past through Banana. But Jane's reposition onto the site. Every single one of these Royals players contains the bomb site. Shubi, crisp shot onto Jane. Stempy as well chiming on in. And now it's just Connor bringing it back. He's brought it into the 1-on-3 and he pulls it off. A hero moment for Connor, where it feels like there have been few for Royals. It has been collaborative efforts so often in these post plants, but Connor gets it done. Man, I really wish I was a better observer. Observing and casting at the same time is not the one. I realized far too late that Connor was in the clutch. And I feel bad about it. What could feel bad is this double entry from Popov. Swinging out. Finding both kills necessary on Revenge. Again, they win a round, they lose the next, and things get a little bit more interesting. Sure, some rifles can be recovered now here from Revenge, but this does feel like it needs to translate into a round win. They've really been bleeding out on the CT side a little too often. Not able to get back-to-back rounds, any level of consistency. And Fraser, you can see he wanted to make that initiative. Really hot on the heels of those players progressing onto that B site. Meaning Stempy has no option other than to save. A 1-on-3 with no armor, no kit, no utility. No chance. I just realized that Swaggy had changed his name to Inferno equals Nice. That's the group name. Ugh. This is where you would expect Revenge to try and go for something a little bit different. Typically, when they've been getting aggressive, it has been via banana, but never have they really pushed for sort of deep apps control, or even the threat of having any sort of second mid presence. You can feel a little safer if you're Royals in your defaults, if you're not being pressured in middle at all, if you're not having to worry about getting shot from sort of the balcony window or even from middle by an aggressive smoke. And Royals, just look how much space they're trying to take. Over towards the arches they go. Shubi does actually find the first, the second as well. So he's holding his own towards Moto, and it's alleviating so much pressure on this site wrap. Look, Shubi on the site is doing it all. Finally, it leads them into the bait that Regan was setting up for as a result of all of that pressure, but Popov swinging out from the arches finds two. Makes this so much more feasible. His teammate in Jane still making slow progress here with the AWP, and finally with Popov being eliminated, surely, by deductive reason, Revenge will lock in on where Jane has been positioned. He hasn't shown his hand. They know he typically has the AWP. Peeking into the angle, it seemed like he lined it up, but just hovering in the air, I think, while he was on the shot. Revenge do get themselves another round. A great round from Shubi. Oh. Is Fraser okay? Is he... He looks like he's lagging. Really bad, actually. Like, unable to move, kind of lagging. You can tell just based on like his crosshair placement that something was going on. Or his cat was attacking him. Either way, cat attack or not, this is a site that receives a bit of a slashing. The nails clipped off of the Revenge CT hold, but they've at least got themselves a man advantage. The post plant is going to be a tough nut to crack, though. Popov, especially if he relocates, can really help collaborate here with Jane, who has to hide from both perspective angles. The Molotov in response here from Popov can make things more interesting. Zulu has to move past the flames, and Popov actually finishes him off with the Molotov as a result of all the additional damage. That's what you like to see. Sitting a little bit more in the open, very exposed if there was anybody from the arches, but given the approach that Revenge went for, perfect for the scenario. And the emphasis on that Molotov could not be more justified. Deep push here from Fraser. Oh, Connor's just lining up the smoke. It should be an easy kill. Oh my god, it hurts. That is pain. Stempy. Do you have the remedy? One kill with the Deagle. Could that be enough with Swaggy on 47? Shubi on an AK? Saving in a round like this doesn't really have its merits other than guaranteeing an AK. You know, you have some money in the tank, at least to afford up the buy, but With this pathing, the round is written off. Going for the economic damage instead on the Royals players. Now this is big brain. I really appreciate something like this because Swaggy, while he goes down, he's actually the lower HP player. So if he had done some damage to Ping as well, I think that move is even more justified because the money wasn't fantastic for Royals. But hey, what can you do? You can see even just missing out on a few bits of utility is a player like Connor. You know, he doesn't have a smoke, he doesn't have a Molotov. And they would have still afforded up the buy because Shubi died with the AK anyway. And this is what they've got. Any which way, Jane starting it off with the AWP. Has been these AWPers to be the catalyst fairly often. Shubi around the corner. Oh, he tempted fate by going for it again. And Ping, he's gonna punish. Dance around the smoke all you want, Shubi. A 1-for-1 is not what you wanted. Hoping to escape capture. This is looking like a Royals round. I mean, Connor, he siphoned off the rotates with an AWP on the lurk. It's not ideal, and for reasons exactly like that. Had he scoped in a little earlier, Stempy would have been even more prepared for the duel. We'll see if they can get this one done. A 2-on-3. Solid post plants as well for Royals. The smoke towards Banana. Is there a gap? That is the next question. Swaggy, gap or not, he's playing close to it, so... As soon as he hears firing, he knows that's his time to emerge, but hey, he pops out just as the round finishes up, and it's an 11-4 half for Royals. Is this done and dusted? I don't think so as of yet, but it is... It's looking fairly likely. All right, the dualies are out. I respect it. Wait, is Connor going out with dualies with no armor? All right, I don't respect. I don't like that. If you're gonna commit, you go full raid boss. You can't half-ass the raid boss. Oh, Ping should have spotted them out on the jump across, so they can play a much more passive setup on this A site, holding in from pit. Ping just jiggling back and forth, just trying to see if he can bait into the likes of Jane. Jane finding one, Ping as well. Popov is coming on the rotation, and they're finding absolutely nothing here on the revenge side. Hell, the dualies haven't found anything either. Oh no. As soon as they recognized it was a 1-on-5, they run at him with their knives out, and Shubi gets diced. Absolutely butchered. So, a very confident start. It is dualies only for Connor now. The fact he didn't have armor didn't matter because it never went his direction. Well, this could just be a mass display of food for Ping. Oh, here come the dualies. Ping firing off rapidly, or Swaggy, sorry, making up for the space that Ping created. Finding nice 3K. 2 pistols, better than 1. Is Connor just going to keep with it? Connor's actually just going to stay with the dualies. I hate this. But at the same time, I don't. I'm so conflicted. We're on the Connor cam. Well, that went about as well as expected. That's not even really a fault of the fact that he has dualies, but that's just overconfidence. They go straight in, and they lose every single one of their duels. Well, this was a fun round. Real fun. I had fun. Still a significant lead here for Royals. Revenge looking to not only motivate themselves, I mean, there's going to be a significant amount of motivation behind this, considering the BM that is being received currently. You never want to be on the receiving end of this and just buckle. It always adds a bit of a chip to your shoulder. But actually executing and delivering in the punishment is a whole other task. Fraser, given an opportunity with the AWP, it's just going to go slightly astray. Now moving in, Connor looking to deploy the smoke. It's Popov that springs in for the first kill. A smoke towards the front of the site should allow Connor a more elevated angle. He got the dink actually while he was in mid-air. So player tagged down. That's Regan as a result of that. And Popov, just with the pistol, is doing so much damage. Eventually, he's tracked down by the nade. But look at the HP here for Revenge. Not 100 between all three players. And that makes the SMG that much more lethal in the retake here for Royals. Swinging round corners, jumping as well for ping. That could be a lethality. Jane still posted with the AWP, looking for a chance, just a glimmer. They give him anything. Ping, crouch peek round the corner, a 1-for-1 as Jane finds one as well on the AWP. Stempy, 6 HP, and the Molotov could not be better placed. He burns to the flames, but that's it. They don't have a kit. They didn't get there in time. They were too slow on the approach. So it's another round 1 here for Revenge. But it requires every single one of their players added to the tombstone. I have begun to just kind of not look at the economy and the buys here for Royals because I don't think they're making a whole lot of sense as of yet. Stempy just killed everybody over at the A site, so that's fun. I was so tunnel visioned on the Zeus. Oh, that's what I get. And this is the thing coming into this. When you have that 11-4 lead, you win the pistol as convincingly as that. I think losing focus or just having... I'm doing air quotes right now. It's kind of redundant, but having a bit of fun with it can lead you to some pretty chunky deficits. And it's only going to really dawn on them if it gets to sort of 10 or 11 rounds for Revenge, that maybe they should have taken some of the previous rounds a little bit more seriously. I mean, you can see it's a very standard buy now here for Royals, as they have been subjected to a bit more pressure. So there is growing concern. Last thing they want is to fall victim. Another intermediate team, Swaggy. Spam down to 15 HP. The nade does land at the feet of Zulu, but the damage exchange ultimately won by Revenge. Lovely off angle here from Jane. Is very, very susceptible to somebody moving instead towards the low ground if they crept through middle. For Boiler specifically, it is a difficult one to deal with. Why did I just clear the decals? I don't know. Force of habit. The blood obscures my vision. Waggy, 15 HP in this position. Could be subject to a Molotov, should that be a part of the Revenge execute. Infrequent that it is. People far more concerned with smoking it off typically, and well, Popov is going to swing first. Kill found, but Regan does track him down as he descends. Connor, emerging from the smoke, does manage to get away as well. And oh, a healthy bit of spam right back on Stempy. Reloaded around the corner, tried to escape, but it is only Connor that remains. A 1-on-2 as he tries to get it done, but Fraser chimes in. The trade immediately. As soon as Connor got the kill towards dark. Fraser was there. And he has been having a strong performance on this map. Had some very high impact frags with the AWP. And they're getting closer and closer. We're not seeing that same level of performance we saw from Zulu on Mirage. But there's a lot more moving pieces, it feels like, for Revenge. Okay. Connor. Calm down, bud. Solid opener with the Deeg. The rifle's not recoverable. The Royals aren't going to get too greedy with it, understanding that the advantage that they have is as much as they could ask for. Doobie creeping in. Seeing if he can try and create some space towards this B-bomb site. Connor gets another one. We're keeping eyes on him instead. Through the rifles. I'm over it. Connor is hitting everything with the Deeg right now. Regan, don't give him the chance. Okay, puts an end to the madness. And now it's just the two players that remain here for Revenge as Connor's put them into a dicey position. And they spent so much time. The worry is that they cannot fall back, but a fantastic clear from both Zulu and Regan, clearing out some troublesome positions independently, but enough so that they don't get caught out. And Ping's recovered an AWP on the flank. Swaggy could be given a chance. Ping actually chiming in with that AWP, and now it just comes down to Regan. A 1-on-2 with the AWP in the hands of Ping. There's no kits. They need to go quickly. Swaggy swinging out. Ping still honed in on the angle, and the shot is a swing and a miss. Regan pulls it back. 4 kills for him altogether in the round in what should have been a lost scenario. Connor did so much work to put them into a spot like that, but Regan bails them out. And we saw clutches pretty consistently from him on Mirage that is transferred over. And he gets another one to his name here on Inferno. Ooh, Jane. I got to his perspective a little late, but seemed like he had an indication that Zulu was over towards the steps. They priming for a flash. Seems like Shubi was somewhat setting up for it. Good timing on the flash. Does force Jane back. Allows Zulu to cross safely as well. Begin to mount some pressure towards this B-bomb site. Connor, other side of the smoke. Swaggy trapped underneath quad. Molotov of Regan does force him out, but Swaggy, crucial kill to allow his escape. The rest of Revenge were falling back. I think they had intended to end towards that B-bomb site, so leaving Regan to be this sort of lurking presence, just to provide a bit more of a doubt in the Royals' mind that it could be an A-sided hit. They hear the scopes. Jane on the other side. Fraser hitting the shot necessary. It's now Popov trapped in towards the second oranges. He'll swing out before they progress much further into the site, expecting the full clear. And it's a 3-on-4. They go to clear Banana. Fraser will take up that charge, but it's not even going to be a retake attempted here for Royals. They recognize that they do not have the stake in the round to be able to compete with it. Only a couple of flashes, 1 kid on Ping. There's no smoke, there's no Molotov, they're not all healthy. And so they'll look towards another round. Revenge have gotten to 10, and I think this is where they do start to have maybe those little internal conversations. Why were we running around with dualies? Why weren't we taking it as seriously as we could have been? Because if they end up in a third map, I think it does come down to that. Why did we go for the most haphazardly pushed down second middle? Anyway, you know, those are some of the things that do run through the mind. Or maybe they don't. Maybe they just forget as quickly as it happened. More walk boost over towards the plant pots. I wasn't sure if that was a movement play or whether they were boosting up, so I didn't want to claim one or the other. But we find out that it was the cheated way, and you could do it yourself. Shuby could have used the teammate to try and trade effectively. Instead, it's Connor that gets away with a kill. Zulu tried to hold for the rotation right back. Oh, Connor's out in the open, but Zulu ducking and weaving as he deployed the smoke out, surviving with 6 HP. He now has to be the man that picks up that bomb for revenge as they set their sights instead towards A. Jane, holding at that close angle by the hay bales. Does Fraser realize it? He spotted the head. Does he make the assumption that he's on the other side of the hay bales, holding that crack peak? It doesn't seem so as of yet. Oh no! Head offered up, and it's a swing and a miss. Ping gets away. Jane getting a kill. Zulu does chime in, but Ping may find bigger contributions. Instead, it's just a dink. 6 HP on both Stempy and Zulu. The damage numbers of the players on the other side, probably very similar. But a rifle in hand and sadness potentially on the horizon as Revenge are closing in on that Royal scoreline. Well, who would have thunk it? This is how it started. 4 players alive, and then all of a sudden, 7 rounds in a row. Certainly some questions to be asked. Because Revenge have picked up steam. They're getting better individual production. Even when they are losing some of these opening picks. For example, I mean, Shuby lost his life over towards B. Zulu was able to make up for it. See if they can get more accomplished. Ping, fantastic timing on the peak towards the apartments. He's going to hold true in that regard. He has a teammate as well in towards the pit in Swaggy. Still playing around the smoke. Shuby on the high ground, seeing if he can flush him out. Does finally finish him off. Just Jane and Connor. A 2-on-3 that they do not want to compete in. They get the AWP. Connor going back for the AK. Like, wait a second. You're giving up an AK for an AWP? I want that AK. Unfortunate for them, Revenge are not interested in the hunt. They're looking more long-term. Now, what is the solution? We have a pause called. Is this attack or attack? Seeming like attack, or sorry, attack, sorry, because of the lack of the timer. But you have to, there has to be some sort of problem solving that's going on here for Royals, because losing as many rounds as this in a row, I think it's 8 now. Am I being silly? No, it is 8 in a row. There are some pains to be had. Do you try and go for sort of deeper banana control? Do you actually maybe just give up banana like they've been doing? Setting up for nade stacks can be another solution to some problems, especially when you're subjecting control to your opponent so frequently they can get a little bit too comfortable, maybe not expecting something like that. Is there a solution that you have the preparation for to not rely on some of these more individual fights? So for example, we've seen Connor very aggressive, taking these duels at the start of rounds, and that's an initiative thing. He wants to be in those positions because he's been hitting the shots as well. But are there other elements that you can bring to the table? Because sure, you can get one, but Revenge have been collapsing on the sites faster than the rotations have been able to get there. Oh, the nades onto Zulu. Exactly what I'm talking about. Down to 4 HP. Shubi does cover for his teammate. Popov finishing off the kill. Finding a secondary as well. Regan there for a trade. It's back and forth, but Swaggy does allow them to have a bit of a man advantage coming into it. And the rotation, while it's a little bit late, is still coming. Swaggy trying to stay alive in the back of the site. Ducking under the bullets, but only surviving for that little bit longer. Now separated are the Royals players. While Revenge double up, a small gap towards the CT smoke. Stempy, don't know if he would have been spotted out. That gap works both ways. Ping on the flank. Stempy goes to clear it, and it's a fantastic shot. Now just down to Jane. It's a crossfire, a really difficult one to crack. As soon as he swings out for Regan, Stempy should have him dead to rights. And Jane wants nothing to do with it. He's backed himself away. He gets the kill on Regan, but that's it. That's the round done and dusted. No way that he could get on the bomb in time. Revenge tie it up. They were 11-4 in the lead. They got to 13-4. And now it's been 9 rounds in a row for Revenge. Sure, some of them have been closer, but some of them, I mean, look at the money here for Revenge. Not too many of those rounds have been close enough to justify. Oh. Swaggy in towards Boiler. Not gonna go uncleared. Oh my days. They go for a slightly different setup. Popov left alone on the site, and he gets nothing for his troubles. That should be another save call. Ping with an MP9, trying to realize some sort of forward-facing opportunity, but while he gets his hands on an AK, that's not going to be enough to incentivize any kind of progress on the site. Revenge take the lead. I can't believe it. They've been doing such a great job of finding the open space and actually getting better multi-kill production. A timeout called. Justifiably so. This feels almost like a mentality shutdown here from Royals. A great lead at the half. Coming in with those round wins. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. Because you could see the confidence was brimming off of those players, then Revenge start winning a couple of rounds. I said it earlier. They bring this one back, Royals are going to feel a little silly. Treating it as done as that. Now with Revenge in the lead, do they buckle up? Do they actually shift the wins? Or has this led to an overpass, a third map? Because Revenge, they weren't done. This is the call. They leave Popov alone. expecting that Revenge will put more of an emphasis on the A site instead. It's not a faster play. It's still fairly drawn out. Popov deploying a smoke towards top B. As early as this as well as the solo anchor. Not something I'm particularly fond of. If he had had another player rotate in, throw the smoke, and rotate back, would have honestly been more a fan of that. Because now Popov's completely isolated with no hope of receiving supportive utility. Connor's not going to get there in time to throw a flash necessary. And they just have to give up the site. So a 5-on-5 retake where Jane is spotted out on the flank by Stempy. Popov does find one. They're spamming vigorously through the smoke to try and get anything. Any sort of miracle frag and any sort of miracle trade. And Fraser posted towards the gardens. Popov creeping into him, just shoulder baiting. And Shuby in the close angle. 1 kill found. Regan as well chiming in alongside him. Shuby swinging out further and further. And Fraser comes in for the final kill. Revenge on map point. This is why I don't knife people. A significant turnaround here for Revenge. The Royals had this earlier, but they were the ones doing it to their opponents. They're having that same breakdown, but on a different map in the series. And look at this. They've navigated to the perfect site. Ah, hats off to you. Revenge. Navigate around the stack of B. They go A. Shuby gets the kill nonetheless as well. That's it. Surely. No kits available, an SMG and an XM. If they pull this one off, it'd be something special. Or tragic. Somewhere in between. Popov trying to make it work. High flash in. The SMGs get nothing. And Fraser, I think he actually collateraled those players coming into the site. Popov is all that remains. And, well, that does it. We're going to a third map. It's 1-1 in the series. And